All
right. I'd ask for each of you to certify if you agree with the statement. Whereas the Carroll County Board of Supervisors convened a closed session this date pursuant to an affirmative recorded vote, and on the motion to close the meeting in accordance with the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, whereas Section 2.2-3711 of the Code of Virginia requires a certification by the Board of Supervisors to which closed session was conducted in conformity with Virginia law. Now therefore be it resolved that the Carroll County Board of Supervisors hereby certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempt from open meeting requirements under the Virginia Freedom of Information Act were heard, discussed, or considered in the closed session to which this certification applies, and only such business matters as were identified in the motion by which this closed session was conveyed were heard, discussed, or considered in the meeting which this certification applies. We went in under A3 and A6. I'll start the certification with Mr. Early,
I so certify.
Mr. Collins,
I so certify.
Mr. Hill,
I so certify.
Mr. McCraw,
I so certify.
Mr. Dixon,
I so certify.
and I so certify. So at this time, welcome everybody. It's good to have a full house tonight. So we'll start with the invocation and pledge. I'd ask Mr. Collins if he'd lead us in that.
Let's all rise, please. Lord, we thank you for this opportunity to be in this place, to deal with the business of the county, and to honor some folks tonight who've worked really hard. We just pray that you would lead us and guide us and give us direction in all that we do. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So first on the agenda is the Carroll County Swim Team. I'd ask for them to come forward if they would, please. I believe we'll set these over here. So, no, it was a basketball. We'll do this. We'll make room for all y'all. So at this time, we want to honor the swim team for Carroll County. I'll read one of the certificates as of recognition proudly presented to and the swimmer for your hard work and dedication to the Carroll County swim team in 2023. So it was great to have y'all to come, and Mr. Collins is going to help me with the presentation. I'll just call out the name, and at that time we'll ask you to step forward. Lydia Webb. I'm sorry. Whoa. We're going to start here. Nicholas Perkins. Andrew Taylor. All right. Bradley Dalton. Camden DeHaven. Wyatt Ogle. Ethan Richardson. Ethan Edwards. Brett Barrier. All right. John McGrady. Sarah Perkins. Elizabeth Barr. All right. Natalie Harris. All right. Carmen Smith. Katie Graham. All right. Ashley Shoup. Caitlin Wheatley, and Lydia Webb. Do y'all have anything y'all would like to say? We'll open the floor to y'all if y'all want to.
We had a wonderful season. It's been a privilege to coach these athletes. We're looking forward to another season next year. We're going to miss our seniors.
All right. Let's give them a good round of applause. Thank y'all for coming.
Stand up here where
Yeah,
take
can we-
pictures.
yeah, we won't get a
This way
picture,
where
maybe.
I can see. Want to take pictures, can. Yep. No, I'm just.
I'm getting out of the
Squat
picture.
down behind them.
Need to be the kid behind.
It's not about us, it's about them.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely, if you don't mind.
Next on the agenda is the Carroll County's girls basketball team, and Coach Motley and the girls. At this time, I'd ask Mr. Early and Mr. Hill if they would recognize these ladies. And don't go by that sheet there. I'd go by the certificate.
Y'all come on up. I know you're not bashful.
Coach Motley and your staff, and two-time state championship girls varsity basketball team. Y'all been here before, I know, I saw you.
That's a good thing.
Is this everybody? I'm just missing one.
Okay, good.
Well, I can't be any prouder this year than I was
Bless
last
you.
year.
Okay.
Jody and I both, we made trips to Richmond to see y'all. And I really enjoyed it, because I'm a big yeller in basketball. You probably hear me, but especially on the referees. But y'all did a great job, great sportsmanship. I can't be any prouder of what y'all did.
Absolutely.
And I'll echo that as well. It was such a pleasure to watch y'all play this year through the tournaments and going to Richmond and watching you win the state championship for the second time in a row. Y'all are fantastic athletes, great scholars, and it's a real pleasure for me to be up here to present these plaques to you today. But we'd also like to recognize the coaches of the team. Mark Motley. You don't get a plaque, I don't think.
Oh, I just missed him.
I'm just recognizing.
Really?
Brandy Cochran Mitchell, Kayla Nestor, Stacy Whitaker, and manager Sammy Martin. What a wonderful bunch of coaches. I know you all enjoyed playing for them. They're going to miss you as well as I'm sure you're going to miss them. So with that said, we'll go ahead and you want to read one of the plaques, or you want me to read it? I'll read it.
Oh, really?
It's a certificate of recognition proudly presented to each of you for your hard work and dedication to the Carroll County girls basketball team and for winning the 2023 state championship. So with that said, we'll go ahead and you can read them and I'll pass them out.
Mr. Hill, just for a second too, also we will pass along that the board tonight will pass a motion to put 5 signs up throughout the county for the state championship team. So we'll put y'all's back to back and then the softball team for the 2015 season. And we're going to put them at 4 points coming into Hillsville and then one more spot. It'll be a lot like the one going into Galax where we can add them as y'all keep winning them. So.
All right, Alyssa Irvin.
Congratulations. Cordy Gardner. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Kaylee Easter. Thank you. Ashton Richardson. Congratulations. Katie Lamb. Jalen Hagee. Great job. Bella Krotz. Congratulations. Lauren Alley. Lauren's not here. Sarah Alderman. Good job. Madison Lyons. Fantastic job. Let's give these girls a big round of applause.
All right, just back up there where everybody can get their photos.
Before you do this,
Yeah, some
we have
were.
a basketball and a
really appreciate your generosity this year to kind of help us pay for rooms and pay for our bus and pay for some meals while we were in Richmond. So it was very generous of you, and I appreciate all the support you've given us all year and over the years.
Absolutely.
Okay? And we've given you this basketball back-to-back Class 3A state champs.
Wow.
And all the kids signed it.
Awesome.
Great. A little edit, and there's your.
Thank you. Congratulations.
This plate right here, no.
Good job, bro.
Thank y'all. Thank you, Coach Motley.
Thanks, Coach Motley.
Thank you.
I'm going to community college.
You get that?
Everybody's trying to get them to go anywhere.
So what? It doesn't matter, whatever you want me to do.
Grayson, hand me those glasses.
It's up to him.
Barely see without.
Chris,
How did you read
where's that plug in? Just in one of these?
names? Not this part without glasses.
Feet right here. No, they take a meeting over them. I get it.
No.
There she is.
Lisa, we changed the agenda around. We switched it with the tourism earlier just to give you opportunity to get back on the road, knowing you have to travel. So
I appreciate that, y'all.
one question that I do have before we open the public hearing, would you speak on the where y'all been working on the project down at the Cavalier Express, some of the things that are being discussed in that? I know that I'm aware that y'all are working on that. Would you maybe bring that to a little bit of light of what the process is, what needs to be done before we start our public hearing?
Yeah, we were made aware of the issue and trying to get a crosswalk there and what it would take to actually get one. And there's really no good place for one except, directly across the creek and to the business, to the Cavalier Express. So we just kind of came up with a conceptual drawing of what a footbridge would look like, where it'd have to go, how we could make it ADA compliant. And we've just got a sketch. That's as far as we've gone. Some improvements that would need to be made to the islands at the business, and then the crosswalk marking and the accompanying signs. But the big part is the footbridge, the pedestrian bridge that would need to be constructed. There's been really no talk of funding. There are some programs out there. One is the transportation alternative funding that the applications will actually open in May of this year. It's a biennial program, so that's one option. But that's kind of as far as we have gotten.
Okay. So is it maybe something that in the future that you or, because I think a lot of that would be coming through the school system because of the school board property, but
Yes.
one of the, probably, I guess, two of the largest phone calls and stuff that the board gets, I think, right now is just concerned with our kids' safety there and at the tennis courts. And I know we've got that as a smart scale project
Yes.
in the works. So, but I appreciate y'all working on that. And if we can do anything to help you, be sure and reach out. So.
certainly, and we can keep you up to date. And I think
Okay,
Dave Ledford is going to meet maybe with some town with the police and maybe some members of the school board to kind of explain what we came up with
okay, awesome.
and make them aware.
All right. We'll open the public hearing, turn it all over to you then.
Okay, thank you. We, of course, this is in accordance with Section 33.2, 33.1 of the Code of Virginia, and that requires us to make an effort with the county officials and VDOT for tentative commitment of estimated available secondary construction funds beginning fiscal year '24 and goes through '29. And you've got a copy of the proposed 6-year plan or the draft. And I just wanted to bring you up to date on what we have planned for this year. We do have Colson Church Road at the intersection there, Mount Zion. We've got a site distance improvement plan for that, where we're going to install a retaining wall just so people can see pulling out. That's been on your 6-year plan for a very long time. And the advertisement date for that is May the 9th. Brushy Fork Road, there's another site distance improvement project that we have scheduled, and that's under development. And then 2 pieces of Route 608, Mount Carroll Road and Old Appalachian Trail, and 633 Groundhog Mountain Road. And these 3 projects, they're all pending approval from the National Park Service.
Okay.
We're working with them to get permits to pave, because these portions of these roads are actually on Parkway property.
Okay.
So,
If that permit don't come for a while, will the funding jump to another road on this list for this year, or?
well, it could with your approval, but I'd really like to see this through. I think
Right,
we're
okay.
close.
Yeah.
I think we're close. But
Yeah.
no, VDOT would not do that. That would
Okay.
be a board action.
Okay,
Glade Creek Road, Dust Trail, Little Valley Road, and River Hill Road. That's what we plan to do this year.
okay.
And I have a couple people that have signed up. And don't have anyone that wishes to speak, but I do have
Okay.
Wanda Cock, who's supporting Hidden Valley Drive, Hidden Valley Road. That's
Okay.
on the 6-year plan, probably a couple years down the road. And Kenneth Meredith, who wanted us to look at 683 Stonewall Road, the shoulders on it.
Okay,
And that's all I have.
okay. And then the board submitted for recommendation Colonial Road, Flint Hill Road, Poplar Hill Road, Silverleaf Road, Hollow Tree, Pipe Stem, Laurel Mountain, Mill Creek, Frog Spring, Suffolktown, and Waterview, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And on the Suffolktown Road, I spoke with Dave about it before. Can we do a traffic count on it in Waterview? And it's on the intersection of the 761 side
Sure.
of Suffolktown Road.
We can get an updated traffic count on
Okay.
those.
And other than that, I think it's,
And Silverleaf and Mill Creek are both on a 6-year plan, so.
yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. What we'll do is take your list and look through these and kind of prioritize them based on the funding that we think we're going to have and what we can do.
Okay,
That's all I have.
all right. Thank you so much, Lisa.
Got a question.
All right.
Yes.
Yes.
Are we looking at a site distance at Colton Church and
It's
Oak Grove?
Mount Zion.
But, you know, where you
Oh.
turn out to go to out Oak Grove towards the school off Colson Church? There needs to be a site distance right there, because all the school buses coming from one side, they turn left right there, and it's hard to see. And right now, I think the power lines is cutting some spots through there. It might make it right there right now.
Well, actually, we're doing that.
Okay.
We're going to do that, and I think you all had asked for that
Yeah.
a few years back, so I think that's something we can do with our forces and get that done.
'Cause I seen a ribbon in there, and I didn't know whether it was y'all's or whether it was AEP's or whoever was doing the cut with AEP. They cut a section, but still not where we need it, so.
Yeah, that's us. That's us. Should see progress pretty soon.
All right, thanks.
And also, Lisa, maybe do a site distance study on the 221 there, Gospel Light, where you turn out Gospel Light
Okay.
before you get to the elementary school. Right there as well. Turn out Gospel Light Road off 221.
I've got
All
it.
right.
We'll do that.
Okay.
I
And
have one thing also, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
First of all, thank you all for sweeping Silverleaf and getting some of the rocks and dirt off of there. It's gotten a lot better.
great.
Marion is still going to require quite a bit of work whenever that logging operation is finished. Any updates on when that might be?
No, I don't. Dave, do you?
Yeah.
I haven't been up there since the last time.
Okay.
Okay.
But thank you for sending a sweeper out there. I appreciate that. That's helped a little bit.
Great.
Lisa, I got just one quick thing on it's actually 620, but it's down Lambsburg. Right at the foot of the Lambsburg Mountain. I think it's Bobbitt Hollow that turns to the left. It's a dead end. Right there near it, there's a culvert. Looks like it's failing right there, and there's a terrible dip in the road. I mean, it's probably maybe 5 foot out in the road from the edge going south. It's on the southbound side, so.
Okay. We'll take a look at that. And I only had one thing to mention. On May the 16th at 4 p.m. at the Salem Civic Center is our spring transportation hearing. And as you mentioned, there's a project that's been recommended for funding at Carroll County High School. It would be good if someone was there to advocate for that project.
We possibly might send Mr. Watson and a board member. The board sees.
Superintendent of schools would help too.
Yep, that'd be good. We'll make sure it's well attended.
Great.
Thank you, Lisa. Safe travels.
Thank you.
All right, next on the agenda, tourism, Ms. Love.
Tracy, excuse me, you're closing the public hearing at 7:18.
Yes, I apologize.
So my name is Brooke Love. Thanks for having me. This is a presentation that I prepared for my interview and have went over it with Mike and Michelle. And it's just kind of all of the things that I love about Carroll and that's brought me home. I've been in Radford since 2011 doing things out and about down there throughout Pulaski and most recently Whitfield. So it's good to be home. So one thing that really inspires me is the nature here. So being able to think outside and all the things that Carroll County has to offer for those that live here and visit here. I actually just visited the Beaver Dam Trail the other day for the first time. Had no idea that it was there. So I've been staycationing instead of going out and about. And I saw a very big bear down there, so that was exciting. So starting off with some of the things that really inspired me, before I moved back, I had started going around and fishing a bunch. And so I learned a lot about DWR and things that they have to offer, trout stocking, delayed harvest. And then also with the Blue Ridge Parkway and motorcycles, and I know a lot of people come up to Kanawha Valley and ride through there. And then also skateboarding and BMX and our arts and rural tourism. And then I live in the realm of agritourism and farmers markets has been a very big passion of mine. And so just all of the agribusiness that stems from our local farmers. So why fishing? The U.S. Fishing and Wildlife Services states that there's 30 million anglers that fish per year. An average spends 35 to 125 per day, with an average of 17 days per year. Most of the people I know fish a lot more than 17 days per year. And then total fishing expenditures per year is $42.2 billion. I actually have a neighbor, and they live in West Virginia. In their house, they don't put it on Airbnb. It's kind of like a stopping point for them between Charlotte, West Virginia, and Ohio. And when they see or call the trout hotline, they'll come down. It's near Chestnut Creek, and they'll come down and fish. So I've been kind of picking his brain about things that he does. And then also just the different fishing spots that we have locally. One thing is I would like to be able to talk with locals, because I personally wouldn't want to give away my best fishing spots. And so finding out ones that we want to attract people to and not necessarily the best. And then so why motorcycles? Motorcycle industry is the 5th largest industry in the world. It is estimated that there are 11 million motorcycles in the U.S. And the next one I found in a research paper that an Appalachian State student had did, and it was stating that the Blue Ridge Parkway throughout the North Carolina and Virginia line attract over 20 million visitors per year, and stating that motorcyclists feel that the Blue Ridge Parkway is by far the best motorcycle venue throughout the United States. And then motorcyclists spend an average of $50 to $100 a day. And one thing from a lot of my friends, that it's not necessarily about just the destination, but it's about the community that they build on the rides and the memories that they make, and that's what makes the place so memorable. So being able to have those destination spots for motorcyclists. And then so why skateboarding and biking? I know that we have a skate park going up in our backyard, which is great for youth. It also promotes healthy exercise, getting outdoors, that sort of thing. So the global market size is estimated to $2 billion, and that's in 2020. With the pandemic and stuff more, I actually saw a guy skateboarding down the sidewalk the other day and wondered if he had any idea about the skate park. But it's estimated to be $157 million by the end of 2028. A lot of that increase has to do where it was added as a sport in the Summer Olympics. And so the X Games and things like that will be a big draw for people to come in and visit for those events. And then, so it's, I've also been researching gravel biking. I mountain bike, but I didn't know that gravel biking was a big thing. And I actually met someone that goes to the Mount Airy bike shop, and he actually knows all of the trails throughout Carroll County. So I'm trying to locate him to be able to potentially work with him on doing a gravel biking map or like little field guide. But there are huge opportunities there to be able to promote like 5Ks and things like that, but being able to have marathons for biking. And then also being able to have the terrain that we have is a big thing because they like being able to have like smooth roads versus gravel roads versus mountain terrain. And so that would be a huge draw in for all of the diversity that we have here. And why the arts and rural heritage? So most people that are traveling, especially younger generations, look at the arts as their main deciding factor on where they travel to these days, and the culture that surrounds it. So murals, music, theater, museums are the 4th largest driver of tourism. And then the art market is estimated to reach $43 billion in 2022, and sales are forecasted for market valuation to $52.5 billion by 2032. I, from experience, have been doing a lot of murals so they started out in Radford and Wildwood Park. A lot of people didn't know about Wildwood Park, and I worked with a local artist, and we raised money to put 2 murals underneath the bridge. And it was so exciting to see like people going down there taking family pictures, and because Wildwood Park was on the map, but a lot of people, one man that I met said that he'd been there 52 years and never been to Wildwood Park, and the mural brought him there. And then in Pulaski, I've been working with a group, they're called Friends of Peak Creek, and they do environmental conservation. And we've been doing storm drain art throughout the town to be able to highlight like the flora and fauna that live there, trying to keep trash out of the creek and just bring awareness to people. And then art also boosts entrepreneurship and small business development because it creates a spark in the creative economy, and that benefits local residents because it helps them start small businesses or share their craft, and also with travelers, it draws them in. And then why agritourism? The agritourism market size is valued at $43 million in 2019 and estimated to reach $63 million by 2027. It keeps farmers and ranchers viable while preserving agricultural lands. I did read not entirely the strategic plan for Carroll County, but majority of it, and that's one really thing that I want to be conscious of is preserving our land, because I feel like that is one of our most valuable assets that we have. And it also helps growers, instead of it being someone off that's not local, even from a regional standpoint, it only creates three jobs when compared to someone local can create up to 13 jobs. It diversifies tourism offerings with farmers markets, farm festivals, pick your own. I know the Christmas tree farm that they have in Fancy Gap, they do a lot of that, and I have a lot of friends that will travel from the New River Valley to come here. And it also enhances and promotes agricultural products that are grown locally, and that also increases community health because you're encouraging people to eat healthy. They're getting to know their farmers and being able to support them, so it creates a resilient food system for residents and also benefits the travelers. And so all these things are the things that inspired me, and so I came up with kind of a campaign that would be more so based on love letters from Carroll County, and I'm a very out-of-the-box thinker as far as not trying to do what everyone else does and falling into the everyday. And so tourism is an opportunity for adventure, exploring, discovering, and making memories. For me, what has brought me back here was the memories with my great-grandparents, and being able to appreciate those now that I'm older because I didn't really appreciate them much when I was a teenager. And Carroll County can offer all the things that an outdoor enthusiast is searching for. And for most people, traveling is an emotional experience. I actually went to the dirt race last night and left my phone. So it was very emotional, but it was a good thing. But I will always remember that. And so being able to appreciate even when things doesn't go so smoothly. And experiences like those are what encourage people to put down roots, especially when if family's involved or they meet someone on travel and stuff, it always ends up becoming home. And then for my focus over the next couple of years, it's the 7 A's. It's accommodations, amenities, attractions, access, affordability, activities, and affection, especially with the younger generation and senior citizens. The affection component is a huge factor in where people travel, like good customer service, if they are made to feel welcome, that sort of thing really keeps them coming back. And so that's my presentation. The stickers that you got are the new tourism campaign logo for Love Carroll, and a little notepad to give you as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is citizens' time. Nobody sign up to speak? Okay. This time I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes. We can break them down into one or 3/14/23 and 3/27/23. If somebody wants to make a motion to keep them together as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes together as presented.
Okay, I have a motion to have a second.
Second.
All right, are there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll start the voting with Mr. Hill,
Yes.
Mr. McCall,
Yes.
Mr. Collins,
Yes.
Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Dixon,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Next, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent calendar as presented.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to pull out the proposed paving request, the appropriation for that, and just hold it over till we get a little more information on it, please.
Okay. So I have a motion to approve the consent calendar without that in it, is that correct?
I make that motion.
All right, do I have a second?
Second.
Are there any discussion? Hearing none, I'll start the vote with Mr. Collins,
Yes.
Mr. Dixon,
Yes.
Mr. McCraw,
Yes.
Mr. Hill,
Yes.
Mr. Early,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Next, the invoices. I'll entertain a motion to approve the invoices. We can either do them 3/24/23 and 4/10/23 or together, whatever the board sees, so desires.
I'll make the motion, we approve the invoices together, both A and B.
Okay? Have a motion to approve them A and B as presented. Do I have a second?
Second.
Are there any discussion? All right. Hearing none, I'll start the vote with Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Collins,
Yes.
Mr. Hill,
Yes.
Mr. McCraw,
Yes.
Mr. Dixon,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Next under new business, vacation and plat. Mr. Newman, you speak on that?
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Before you, you have two proposed plats to put two pieces of property, each one of them individually as to one property. The one property is all along Silverleaf Road. The other one is in behind that property and runs along Marion Road. This is property that was divided back in 2005 when Amerlink was looking at developing and putting log homes on property, which never materialized. Two individuals, purchased the property, and so they've asked to be able to put each of their respective properties back as one property.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Newman. Anybody have any questions for him?
I do.
Okay.
Two property owners, right?
Yes, sir.
I was there. I don't recall Amerlink ever proposing to build cabins there. It was subdivided for development by people that had a motocross track there.
The indication I was given back then was that Amerlink was working with that individual, and that was the reason she subdivided.
It's news.
I may have been misled, but that was the
No.
indication that was given to me in '05.
So the vacation of this plat, would it be done, since there are two property owners, separately?
Yes, sir.
One property owner and then the other?
The one property owner that owns the property along Silverleaf Road would be asking to have his property put back as one. And then the other property owner who owns the land in behind that property and runs along Marion Road has asked to have his property put as one. The only thing that has been developed is the person who owns the property along Silverleaf Road has built a house. Nothing else has been developed.
Any other questions for Mr. Newman? Mr. Newman, is this something that the board needs to take action on tonight, or can they table it? Or-
We've been working on this about three and a half years, so
Okay.
I don't see that.
Your recommendation is?
I don't see that there's any fire that we have to put out.
And your recommendation is?
If you'd like to take more time and look at it and, have any questions for me as we get down the road,
Okay,
that's fine.
okay. Whatever the board so desires. I'll open up to the board for a decision, what they want to do.
Do you have a recommendation, Ron?
The planning commission has reviewed it and they are in agreement to be able to put the property back together, subject to the board's desires.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we table it till we can discuss it some more maybe, or
Okay. I think there's a planning commission meeting this week, aren't there?
A joint meeting with the Board of Supervisors
And-
Wednesday
and-
evening.
And I will tell you that the board's going to send 2 board members to that rather than the whole board.
Okay.
So there'll be 2 board members there to help with the direction of the planning commission. So. All right, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, are there any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll start the vote with Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Collins.
Yes.
Mr. Hill,
Yes.
Mr. McCraw,
yes.
Mr. Dixon,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Thank you, Mr. Newman.
Thank you.
Next is the budget calendar update. The only change would be the public hearing for the school board budget to be moved to April 24th. I'll entertain a motion to approve that.
So moved.
All right. Have a motion to have a second.
Second.
Are there any discussion? All right, hearing none, I'll start the vote with Mr. Dixon,
Yes.
Mr. McCraw,
Yes.
Mr. Hill,
Yes.
Mr. Collins,
Yes.
Mr. Early,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Before we get down to old business, and the committee appointments, Mr. Dixon's on the 911 board for the, Board of Supervisors as a representative for Carroll, and I'd ask him to read a, proclamation at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We're going to have a proclamation authorizing recognition of National Public Safety Telecommunications Week. Whereas Carroll County is a political subdivision of the state of Virginia, and whereas Carroll County is committed to providing a high-quality emergency communication system to the residents, and whereas Carroll County recognizes the professional and undeniable services of the telecommunicators who answer 911 calls on a daily basis, and whereas the 911 telecommunicators are the link between people calling for help in an emergency situation and the emergency response agencies who arrive on scene. And whereas the 911 telecommunicators are the true backbone of the 911 system. And whereas the President of the United States has historically acknowledged the second week of April as National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week. And therefore be it resolved that the Carroll County Board of Supervisors hereby declare the week of April 9th through 15th, 2023 to be National Public Safety Telecommunicators Week.
Thank you, Mr. Dixon.
Thank you.
And we have one more from the 911 Commission. It's in support of the Twin County E911 Commission radio and radio equipment maintenance and programming. Whereas it had come to the attention of the Twin County E911 Commission that unauthorized, unlicensed persons have reprogrammed certain emergency service radio equipment. And whereas these reprogramming of these radios has made it almost impossible for dispatchers and other emergency service personnel to communicate with these agencies using these reprogrammed radios. And whereas this action is the effect of placing citizens and other emergency personnel safety in danger. Now therefore be it resolved, therefore known that the Twin County E911 Commission, the 10th day of April 2023, by motion unanimously carried, has voted to prohibit anyone not licensed to perform radio maintenance and programming and not authorized and approved in the Twin County E911 Commission to perform radio maintenance and reprogram on the radio equipment for the city of Galax, the county of Grayson, and the county of Carroll from performing any radio maintenance or radio programming on any radio equipment for the city of Galax, county of Grayson, and the county of Carroll. Now be it resolved that Carroll County Board of Supervisors does hereby approve the support of the action taken by the Twin County E911 Commission this 10th day of April 2023 concerning radio and radio equipment maintenance and reprogramming of any radios and radio equipment associated with emergency service agencies and radio equipment located in dispatch centers within the jurisdiction. And that was approved today in the E911 Commission. All right, next on the agenda committee appointments. I'll open the floor for any motions to approve any committee appointments at this time, or to table them for another month.
I'll make a motion, we table 'em.
Okay, I have a motion to table them for another month. Are there any, or could I get a second?
Second.
Are there any discussion? All right, hearing none, I'll start the vote with Mr. Collins,
Yes.
Mr. Hill,
Yes.
Mr. McCraw,
Yes.
Mr. Dixon,
Yes.
Mr. Early,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Next is the Building Code of Appeals. I'll entertain a motion to approve these gentlemen
I make a motion, we approve the presented
list.
building code of appeals. Yes, sir.
Okay, I have a motion to have a second.
Second.
All right, are there any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, would you read those names?
Ed Bunn, Dan Huff, Paul Burnett, Nancy Pires, Mark Bolt, and Tom Richardson. Have a motion and a second. Are there any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll start the vote. Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Collins,
Yes.
Mr. Hill,
Yes.
Mr. McCraw,
Yes.
Mr. Dixon,
Yes.
and I vote yes. All right, before we get to board member comments, I think County Administrator has a demonstration he wants to share. So I'll open the floor to you, Mr. Watson.
All right. Got me on. I just want to give a little update on what the progress we're having at the rec park. I know over the past, I won't say month, we've seen some construction. We've had the opportunity to take down the existing bathrooms, do some grading, some straightening up, and the board has approved to put a splash pad in. Okay, you know, if you remember that area, some of the equipment there was in bad shape. It needed some work done to it, and decision was to install a splash pad, which is a project that'll be allowed, will be operated for free. People will be allowed to use it throughout Carroll County, and probably become a better draw to the park. Here is a conceptual. It's not quite exactly what, this is just a drawing. At the top left corner is the control box. It controls, it has the filtration, those type things in it. It actually is going to be sitting in another location, and the restroom that you see on the right-hand side will be moved. Other than that, it's a basic layout of what you see. You can see some of the work that's being done. You can see the grading that's prepared. The restroom was taken out, and they have begun work on it. You can see in the upper right corner is the recirculation tank. What this does is allow us to reuse the water and also the piping and the plumbing that goes along with it. They continue to work on it. You can tell from the size of the excavation and the size of the tank that it's no small feat to install these. And so you'll see where they have actually put in the footers for the different sprays throughout the thing. You'll see some of the piping, and also kind of an overlook of what you've got. Will be pretty impressive. It runs a long way parallel with the road. If you look at the picture on the left-hand side, on where the yellow fixture is, back that direction is where your pump's going to be. Straight ahead is the existing playground, and to the left where the mound of gravel is where the restrooms will be constructed. Restrooms. We have, since beginning this project, county staff has taken down the existing bathrooms, which were in very rough shape. The restrooms are going to have 5 restrooms, in which 3 of them will be ADA, then 2 will be a normal restroom. They are individual restrooms along with a storage area. And if you look at this picture down through the center of the picture, that's a hallway in which we are working on putting all the plumbing and electrical down that area, so that they'll have access to the back of all the rooms. You notice that the fixtures are on those adjoining walls, so it'll be able to weatherize and those type of things out through there. We'll also be on the outside. We'll have a faucet, and then you'll also have a water bottle filling station there as well. Playground. Current issues. If you had an opportunity to go over there, they've been needing repair for some time. The facility is about 20 years old. It's put in all at one time. One of the things we want to do is try to get away from replacing one thing at a time. Here's just a couple pictures. You can see where the you have the steps here. The coating is coming off of it. It's a expanded metal. Some of the expanded metal is coming loose. There's rust on it. And this is out of the age where you can't buy this again. Okay, so we had to look at something different. You know, some of the areas have cracks in them. We have over time they have removed. These were where 2 slides were. Plexiglass was put over it because the slides were broke. They're difficult to get. Also, you see some of the structures where you, on the left-hand side, where it bolts onto the pole goes all the way through it, and then it clamps onto it. You notice there's rust and those problems come along too. Some separation in the expanded metal with the walkways. More rust. All right. So what we've done is had an organization come in, and these are all a state contract that has designed a plan. They've worked with staff. So what it'll do is we'll shorten the size of the area in which pulls this in a little tighter. It'll require grading. There's areas in there that it's not level, and they've tried to fill it in the past with mulch. There's about, on the existing structures we have now, there's areas 9 to 12 inches that are below where the grade line, where the mulch line should be on the existing equipment. So first thing is planned is take out the existing equipment throughout it. We're going to keep the existing swings. You'll have a multi-climber, a small play set with 3 slides and a walking, well, this is a climbing area, and then a small other one here. We'll be putting in a couple of the spring things that kids love. One of the traditional teeter-totters. There's a stand-up and a sit-down spinner, and then you'll also see a drum panel, a musical chime, the xylophone thing. It's all in one little unit through here, and then add a couple picnic tables within it. It'll also include a border to go around it to keep the mulch in. We'll put a fence up around it so that you'll have one end opening so you can come in one side. They can't run all over the place. We'll put a service entrance in so if we need to get in with something, we can. And also on the outside of it, a gravel walkway. The plan is to have a gravel walkway on the outside of the playground, and possibly some type of concrete curving around it so that you don't have to worry about the gravel kicking out. You don't have to worry about the mowers getting it. Maybe some type of slope, like a curbing almost, that has a drop on it. So if you run the blade along it, try to cut down the maintenance side of it. Here's one. This is the larger piece of it, the one with the 3 slides and the climbing area. Now the colors can change. These are just mock colors. Be honest with you. somebody else can pick the colors better than I ever will. But, and here's a generalized layout of what you're looking at. On the back side is where you'll see the swings, and you'll have the park benches on it also. And what this does, it puts the things in it so that you can place individual ones as a break or as time goes by. Some might be used more than others. Some might wear more than others. If a spring item quits, then you can do it. Or if you want to, so it gives an opportunity for better maintenance down the road. So you won't have this one-time expense. Other than that, we're also looking at putting some lighting up, possibly some cameras as we're going along. And trying to create a little bit more parking at the park. So, and all this is budgeted through the capital improvement project, so the funds are there. Is there any questions?
Is at the playground equipment, you know, I know a lot of these places are going to the rubber stuff and all. Is there an option to do that versus the mulch?
You can, but Justin has played a huge part in this along with staff. $12 a foot, square foot or something?
Or doing it like the rubber chip mold or the rubber asphalt.
Well,
They do the poured rubber coating at some places.
mm-hmm.
They said it was more than double the cost of the asphalt.
Hmm.
We can look at the rubber, kind of the chip.
Playground mulch?
Kind of, yeah, playground mulch, rubber
Right.
asphalt. I can't remember the cost difference between the two divisions.
Okay.
We can look into it though. We used, I was in a project once before and we used rubber mulch. You didn't have to mulch it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that we're also doing is on the side where the shelters are, that area between there was all mulch. That's going to be, we're putting sidewalks in, going to put a larger stone in there so that you don't have to mulch it every year. Try to clean it up, maybe plant a tree or something in the middle area there. One of the goals that we're trying to do, even with the restroom's designed with like an outside split face block and vinyl where you need it. So we're trying to get away from as much maintenance, put drains in the floor so you can go spray it out, those type things. So.
Anybody else have any other questions? All right. Thank you, Mr. Watson. Next on the agenda is Supervisors' time. I'll start with Mr. Early.
I really don't have much to say. I hope everyone had a very nice Easter weekend. I want to thank the staff for their hard work as usual, and also to all of our emergency fire and rescue. The jobs they do every day are very important to the county, and just want to thank them. And I don't have anything else to say. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Collins.
Yeah, just to echo the volunteers that are in our county, fire, rescue, everybody who serves as a volunteer, I just appreciate the work that they do, and I've seen a lot of it going on recently.
Mr. Hill.
Yeah, ditto what the other two gentlemen said. And I do like the work that's being done on the splash pad. It's gonna look good over there. Hope we can expand the parking lot and lighting and stuff, make it a little bit better, which we're doing.
Absolutely.
Appreciate that, all the work that everybody's worked on this.
Mr. McCraw.
Just, I'd like to ditto what they've all said. The volunteers in this county, it's amazing that they don't get the recognition that they deserve, and they do put a lot of effort into it. Back to the resolution, I mean, what you read about the radio maintenance.
Yes, sir.
Do we need to vote on that?
We
or-
can make an emotion in a second and vote if you
I
want.
mean, do they need it?
Well, I mean, it says that it's just that we're backing what they've done voted.
Okay.
But
Well, I mean, whatever.
Just cross the Ts and dot the Is, that's fine.
Okay. Well, I'll make a motion that we approve this resolution,
Adopt their resolution.
adopt their.
All right, have a motion to have a second.
Second.
All right, is there any discussion? I'll start the vote with Mr. Early,
Yes.
Mr. Collins.
Yes.
Mr. Hill,
Yes.
Mr. McCraw,
Yes.
Mr. Dixon,
Yes.
and I vote yes. All right, Mr. McCraw. McCraw, I'll open the floor back up to you.
I have nothing else. Just thank staff. I mean, it's,
All right. Mr. Dixon?
Yeah, I want to thank staff for everything that they do on a daily basis. Splash Pad, I'm very excited for it for the kids, hoping it gets open sooner than later. This Telecommunicators Week, as we talked about earlier, that's a hard job, dispatch. I did it for 5 years, and if you've never been there, you don't realize that's the first person you call when you need help, and they have a hard job. But thank you to them, our volunteers as always, Sheriff's Department, Fire and Rescue, everyone else, and appreciate what they do. It was great to see so many students here tonight representing Carroll County in such a good way, whether it's sports, academics, whatever they do, they represent Carroll County very well. And last thing I have, if it's possible, I would like to, if it's okay, Chairman, direct staff to work on Freeze Fire Department on the budget. I'd like to try to get
Their appropriation.
appropriation.
That's something we can look into.
They sent the email, to everybody today, so I'd like to try to
Okay.
see if we can help out a little more.
Okay.
That's all I have.
All right. I'll echo what all y'all said. It's good to see our kids here tonight and their hard work paying off, and look forward next month, hopefully, to have our hosting our FBLA teams here. I think they've got some kids going to the Nationals, so that's exciting, and we'll get them here and honor them next month. Good to see everybody out tonight. Thank everybody for coming. I thank the board for all y'all's hard work, the board y'all serve on and do, and our volunteers, and hope everybody had a good Easter weekend, and look forward to getting the budgets taken care of hopefully next month and move forward with 2024 on that. So with that, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
so moved, Mr. Chair.
All right, have a motion to have a second. Are there any discussion? I'll start the vote with Mr. Early.
Yeah.
Mr. Hill.
Yes.
Mr. Collins.
Yes.
Mr. McCraw.
Yes.
Mr. Dixon.
Yes.
And I vote yes.